Hello guys, and welcome to another video. And just a little bit ago, we got our first look at the Mario movie poster, and also some details about when they're going to show the trailer, and they revealed that it's going to be in a direct. I'm not surprised that it's going to be in a direct, since they did that for Super Nintendo World, and they also had a dedicated Mario Direct back in 2020. So I mean, the Mario franchise is obviously very valuable to Nintendo, and they like to show it off carefully in different ways, kind of comparable to Pokemon, so that's why they're probably doing this separate presentation and everything, so I'm looking forward to that. They might, have a few more details other than just the trailer, since they're advertising it as a direct, so they'll probably have Miyamoto on there talk about the movie for a little bit, but we'll just have to see. But for the poster itself, I think it looks pretty cool. We're just judging just a little snap of it, just not really that much. So I feel like it's really hard to judge much so far. Because, I mean, it could turn out to be really weird or not that good when the trailer comes out. Or it could turn out to be really good. We just don't know yet, but this poster does give a little bit of a look at the movie so far, and overall, I think it looks pretty good from what we're seeing so far, like Mario's design. Even though we don't have the front of the design yet, the back of the design looks pretty cool. Not too different from the Odyssey design, I would say, because it's very detailed. It even has more detail than the Odyssey design, which I kind of like. Like the gloves, you can see more details in that, and also in Mario's overalls, like with the denim in there. And then also with Mario's shoes, you can see the laces and the heels, like they're very detailed, and I think it looks pretty cool. As long as the front looks good, this is a pretty good design. We'll just have to see. It might turn out to be really weird, or Illumination did something weird with it. But if it's weird, it might at least be meme-worthy, so we'll just have to see. It might be, so bad that it's good, or it might actually be genuinely good. It might be mostly like Nintendo's normal Mario design, but just kind of improved in different ways, and just slightly different. I do think it's definitely going to be different from the normal Mario design, but I don't think it's going to be too different, though, because the design we have so far doesn't look too far off from how the Odyssey design looks, just with, a larger head, kind of. But everything else kind of looks like how you'd expect Mario to look, just with more detail. And looking around in the different areas, you could see, different Toads walking around. I think the one with the backpack in different, hiking equipment is the main Toad. That kind of makes sense. It looks like he's guiding Mario through the area or something like that, because supposedly this is supposed to be an origin story, so this is the first time Mario is in the Mushroom Kingdom, so at least by the characters that we know are going to be in the movie, so that's likely the main Toad. And then there's also some other Toads there in the background, probably as background characters. There's a few different colors, and what I noticed about them is that they actually have, height variation, so they're gonna be, different heights. But we don't really see any, unique variation among the Toads. I think that might just be due to, this being, a generalized poster, not really showing much, just showing that this is a Mario movie. Oh, the Toads are there. It's, not much of a, detailed look at it, so there might be different types of Toads, or Toads having different roles and different things like that. So this might just be general background characters as Toads, and then obviously the main character or the main Toad there. And then there's also some Biddybuds walking around in the town area there, which is pretty cool. Nice to see some 3D Mario enemies there. That kind of gives me a lot of hope that we'll see more variation with different Mario enemies and different things like that, throughout the series, even ones from Odyssey, or even some older Mario games, Super Mario World or Yoshi's Island, different things like that. I think it would be nice to see like enemies from across the series, like even the more obscure ones or the ones that aren't seen as much, like kind of like the ones shown off in the poster, not just Goombas, Koopas, and different things like that. So that's kind of promising to see. And you can see like different signs based on like different things from the Mario series. I think one of the signs on the right kind of looks like a fruit area that kind of looks like a fruit store or something like that. It almost looks like the fruit designs from either Yoshi or I think like Mario Party. Like Mario Party Superstars had that one map and it kind of used like similar fruit designs. So that might have to do with like Yoshi and everything, like with those specific fruit designs that I'm seeing on there. And then there's also an area with antiques, which looks pretty cool. It's kind of based on the retro looking things. It kind of looks like those 3D renders of the pixelated items and blocks and different things. I think that was promotional art from Mario Maker 1 and 2, kind of similar to that. I think that's pretty cool to see. I know like the nostalgia pandering is getting a bit old in the Mario franchise, but this seems to be like kind of different. I think it's just a cool little reference there. And it's just cool in general. I really like how it's pulled off there, like, but I guess that's supposed to be like a fun little reference, which I think is pretty cool. It's always nice to have little things like that. And just overall, it looks really cool. And in the background, it looks even better. Like, there's all of these hills and everything. And at first glance, it looks to be kind of like how you'd expect from Mario, but looking into the details here, it actually looks pretty unique. Like, they took the background hills that are usually in the Mario games, like New Super Mario Bros. And different things, and actually made them look like actual hills and kind of blended them in, put mushrooms on them, and made them look more natural, which looks really cool, and it definitely looks more unique and more varied. It definitely looks like a pretty interesting take on the Mushroom Kingdom with that background and everything. And then there's also like different hills, kind of like blocky platforms with a bunch of pipes on them, and even like some houses and toad houses, mushrooms kind of everywhere on top of them. So it kind of looks like they're blending the areas you'd expect from Mario and kind of giving them a more natural look, like making them look like an actual connected world, which looks pretty cool and is definitely a pretty unique take on the Mushroom Kingdom, because we're usually used to seeing like floating platforms and just a general grassy field with a bunch of hills. But this looks pretty unique. I really like how this looks. It almost reminds me of Super Nintendo World with all the verticality and everything kind of like built off of each other. And then there's also Peach's Castle on top of the biggest hill, and that looks really cool. It's definitely like a big centerpiece there. And it almost reminds me of the Super Mario 64 box art a little bit, like even though it's not like a globe, it's like on top of a very round hill and the castle's on top of it. So it kind of reminds me of the Mario 64 box art a little bit there. And then there's also like a bunch of floating islands, so I think that looks pretty cool. I definitely think that's gonna kind of show off the emphasis on Mario's like jumping and everything, and there could be some like action scenes and different things like that on top of those floating platforms. So I think that would be pretty cool overall. But overall, this poster looks great, and I'm definitely excited about this movie. I am still a little concerned though, because there's always some things they could mess up, and there's always some things that could go wrong, especially like with the writing and different things like that. So anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more, and make sure to check out my Discord server and Twitter if you want to. Goodbye.